Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Today, the topic under discussion is hydrogen bonding. As we have already completed the other type of intermolecular forces in our previous lecture, dipole-dipole forces and London dispersion forces. Now comes the third type of intermolecular forces, which is very special type of intermolecular forces and stronger as compared to dipole-dipole and London dispersion forces. Hydrogen bonding. When hydrogen is bonded to a highly electronegative atom, such as nitrogen, oxygen, and fluorine, hydrogen bonding is formed. Hydrogen in this particular case is highly positive. Why? Because it is covalently bonded with a highly electronegative element which withdraws the electron density from the hydrogen, and as a result a high charge density of positive charge is created on hydrogen. It becomes highly positive. Hydrogen of one polar molecule and the highly electronegative element like fluorine, nitrogen, and oxygen of the neighboring molecule attracts each other, and this type of bonding is known as hydrogen bonding. So proper definition of hydrogen bonding is it is the electrostatic attraction between hydrogen atoms bonded to a small strongly electronegative atom, nitrogen, oxygen, and fluorine, and the lone pair of electrons on these electronegative atoms. The basic criteria is that the electronegative element like fluorine, oxygen, and nitrogen, it should be of small size and must be having lone pair of electrons. Small size and lone pair of electrons, these two features enable fluorine, nitrogen, and oxygen to get involved in hydrogen bonding. What are the essential requirements for the formation of hydrogen bond? The essential requirement for the formation of hydrogen bond is that the hydrogen atom must be directly bonded to a highly electronegative atom. The second main criteria is that unbonded pair of electron means the lone pair of electron is also present on the electronegative atom. There are many compounds in which hydrogen is covalently bonded with other elements other than fluorine, oxygen, and nitrogen. Those bonds, they cannot be called as hydrogen bond because the essential criteria of calling an intermolecular force a hydrogen bond is that the hydrogen atom must be directly covalently bonded to a highly electronegative atom like fluorine, oxygen, and nitrogen. And the second criteria is that a lone pair of electron must be present on these atoms so that they can involve in hydrogen bonding. There are three examples of hydrogen bond, three famous examples: HF, water molecule, ammonia, and methanol as well. In HF, there is a zigzag structure. Fluorine, it is present at the corners, and hydrogen, it is entrapped between two strongly electronegative fluorine atoms. This hydrogen is highly positively charged. That's why this special type of force is stronger as compared to other intermolecular forces which we have studied so far. There are three lone pairs on the fluorine atom, but only one lone pair out of three lone pairs it is involved in making the hydrogen bond. Nitrogen is having one lone pair on nitrogen, which assists in the formation of hydrogen bond. In the case of water, oxygen is having two lone pairs which are involved in the formation of hydrogen bonds with the neighboring molecule. In methanol, oxygen atom is making hydrogen bond with the hydrogen atom of the neighboring methanol molecule. There are two types of hydrogen bonds. One is intermolecular hydrogen bonds, which means that a hydrogen bond, it exists between two molecules. Like this, two individual molecules. This type of hydrogen bond is known as intermolecular hydrogen bond. Second type is intramolecular hydrogen bond, which means that a hydrogen bond exists within a molecule, within a single molecule. Like in this case, it is orthonitrophenol, and in this case, the oxygen atom of the nitro group is involved in making covalent bond, in making hydrogen bond with the OH molecule, with the hydrogen atom. As this hydrogen bond exists within a molecule, within a single molecule, within the same molecule, that's why it is known as intramolecular hydrogen bond. As we have already read, that intermolecular hydrogen bond, it is stronger as compared to the other van der Waals forces which we have studied so far. Hydrogen bonding has a strong effect on the physical phenomena of various compounds. For example, in the second period, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine, they are present in the second period, belonging to different groups. The hydrides of these particular elements like methane, ammonia, HF and water. If we compare the boiling points of these four molecules, we will come to know that methane has got the lowest melting point out of these four. The lowest boiling point of methane, the reason behind this is the weak London forces because it is non-polar, and less amount of energy will be required to overcome the intermolecular force. If we compare the boiling point of ammonia, HF and water, we will come to know that water will be having the highest boiling point as compared to HF and ammonia. As water, HF and ammonia, all of them are having hydrogen bonding in them, let's compare their hydrogen bonds. Why do ammonia, water and HF have abnormally high boiling points? The reason is that nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine, they are highly electronegative atoms. They are involved in making the intermolecular hydrogen bonds. Intermolecular hydrogen bonds are stronger types of intermolecular forces, stronger type of van der Waals forces. And a lot of energy is required to break these hydrogen bonds. And as a result, the boiling point of these compounds are abnormally high as compared to the chemically similar compounds. Now let's compare the boiling point of water with HF and ammonia. Water has got the highest boiling point as compared to HF and ammonia. The reason is that water can form 2 hydrogen bonds per molecule. As I have already told you that the lone pair present on the highly electronegative element, they assist in the formation of hydrogen bonds. Number of hydrogen bonds which a molecule forms, basically they depends upon the number of lone pairs present on the highly electronegative element. As we know that in water, oxygen has got 2 lone pairs, and these 2 lone pairs, they are involved in making of hydrogen bonds with the neighboring molecule. So we can say that water can form 2 hydrogen bonds per molecule. Water can form 2 hydrogen bonds per molecule because of the presence of 2 lone pairs on the oxygen atom. That's why, let's discuss HF and ammonia. In HF, fluorine has got 3 lone pairs, but out of 3 lone pairs, only 1 lone pair is involved in making of hydrogen bond due to geometry restrictions. As I have told you that in HF, zigzag structure is formed. So due to this zigzag geometry, it is not possible for fluorine to make 3 hydrogen bonds simultaneously. So that's why HF can form only 1 hydrogen bond per molecule. Let's discuss ammonia. In ammonia, nitrogen has got 1 lone pair which is involved in the formation of hydrogen bond. So we can say that in water 2 hydrogen bonds per molecule, and in the case of HF and ammonia 1 hydrogen bond per molecule is formed. Boiling point of a substance, it depends upon the strength of intermolecular force, and then in this particular case all of them are having the hydrogen bonds. So we will also count the number of hydrogen bonds which a substance has. In water, 2 hydrogen bonds per molecule. Due to maximum number of hydrogen bonds per molecule as compared to HF and ammonia, water has got higher boiling point. A lot of energy is required to break 2 hydrogen bonds. In the case of HF and ammonia, both of them have 1 hydrogen bond per molecule. So let's compare them. As the number of hydrogen bonds in HF and ammonia are same, 1 hydrogen bond per molecule, now we will discuss the strength of hydrogen bond. Which has stronger hydrogen bond, HF or ammonia? The strength of hydrogen bond, it depends upon the electronegativity difference between the two atoms. So let's compare the electronegativity of fluorine and nitrogen to come to know which of the following is having the stronger hydrogen bond. As we know that fluorine has got the maximum electronegativity in the whole periodic table, that is 4. So fluorine is more electronegative than nitrogen. That's why the hydrogen bond present in the HF is more stronger as compared to ammonia. So that's why the boiling point of HF is higher than that of ammonia. Hydrogen bond, as a result of hydrogen bond, the enthalpy of vaporization, which is the energy required to vaporize 1 mole of a liquid, is also higher. Water has the largest enthalpy of vaporization as compared to other chemically similar compounds. As we know that oxygen, sulfur, and selenium and tellurium, they all belong to group 6. So they are all chemically similar compounds. But the properties of water, they are exceptional, they are abnormally high due to this special type of intermolecular force which exists between water molecules. So there is a graph which clearly shows that water has got the highest enthalpy of vaporization, which shows that it has stronger hydrogen bonding in them. In water, there are intermolecular hydrogen bonds between molecules, but in other chemically similar compounds like H2S, H2SE, and H2TE, the interactions are dipole-dipole interactions. The strength of hydrogen bond, it is higher as compared to dipole-dipole interactions. To break hydrogen bonds, more energy is required. That's why water has got the largest enthalpy of vaporization. Next comes the boiling point and the solubility of alcohols. Alcohols are having OH groups in them. So that's why they are also involved in the formation of hydrogen bond. Let's compare the alcohols, the behavior of alcohols and the thiols. The difference between the alcohols and thiols is that in alcohol OH group is present, but in the case of thiols SH group is present. So alcohols, they are having hydrogen bond, and due to this hydrogen bond, the graph of the boiling point of the alcohol is slightly higher as compared to that of thiols. The boiling point of alcohols is higher as compared to their corresponding thiols. The reason is the difference in the strength of their intermolecular forces. The intermolecular forces present in the alcohol molecule is hydrogen bond, but in the case of thiols, they are dipole-dipole interactions. Alcohols of low molecular masses like ethane, ethanol, methanol, and propanol, they are highly soluble in water. They are highly miscible. This is the reason because they can form hydrogen bonds with the water molecule. So due to the formation of hydrogen bonds between alcohol and water, alcohols are miscible in water, especially of the low molecular masses. Dimerization of carboxylic acid. These are 2 carboxylic acid molecules, acetic acid, and this one is also acetic acid. The IUPAC name of acetic acid is ethanoic acid. Ethanoic acid, in non-polar solvents, they are in the form of dimer. That is, 2 ethanoic acid molecules, they are bonded to one another and they exist as a dimer. The intermolecular force which exists in this dimer formation is intermolecular hydrogen bonds. That is, the oxygen atom of one ethanoic acid molecule is involved in making of hydrogen bonds with the hydrogen atom of the neighboring molecule. So due to this hydrogen bonding, dimerization of carboxylic acid takes place in nonpolar solvents. There is a lot of importance of hydrogen bonding in biochemistry as well. Hydrogen bonding in ice and water. Let's compare the hydrogen bonding which exists in both water and ice. In water, the molecules, they are in constant motion. So we can say that the hydrogen bonds, they formed and they are broken down continuously. That is, the molecules, due to the random motion of the molecules, the arrangement of the molecules is also random in the water, liquid water. In ice, the molecular motion is restricted. The molecules of water, they occupy fixed positions, and as a result they occupy fixed position to get involved in maximum number of hydrogen bonds. And as you can see, and you can compare the structure of molecules in water and the structure of molecules in ice, there is a large amount of vacant space present in ice. This large amount of vacant space, this hollow space, basically this is due to hydrogen bond. Due to this, an open structure of ice is formed, and it, due to this particular reason, the ice, it is having less density as compared to liquid water. That is the reason ice floats on water. As ice floats on water, this particular property has helped the aquatic life to survive under severe winter conditions. Importance of hydrogen bonding in biochemistry, like in proteins. You know the structure of proteins. The proteins, they are made up of amino acids. This is a central carbon and it is attached with 4 different groups. NH2, R contains, can be a hydrogen atom, it can be a alkyl group, and this is the carboxylic acid group. This is the building block of the protein, that is known as amino acid. These amino acids, they combine together to form larger chains. Like if 2 amino acids, they combine together, they form a dipeptide. Peptide bond, it exists between carbon, double bond oxygen, and nitrogen and hydrogen. The primary structure of the protein is a polypeptide, which is a polymer of amino acids. These amino acids, they combine together to form a large chain which is known as polypeptide. Polypeptide chains, they form a helical structure between nitrogen, hydrogen, and carbon double bond oxygen groups. Then comes the secondary structure of proteins. These are polypeptide chains and they are coiled together to form secondary structure of proteins, and it involves the formation of hydrogen bond between them. Hydrogen bonding also exists in DNA molecule. DNA stands for deoxyribose nucleic acid. DNA contains genetic information, and as a result we know that there are 2 macromolecular strands, they are spiral around each other to form a double helical structure. The structure of DNA, it is made up of nucleotide. Nucleotide is the building block of DNA. A nucleotide consists of a sugar, a phosphoric acid unit, and a nitrogenous base. Nitrogenous bases are 4: adenine, thymine, cytosine, guanine. So there are basically 4 types of different nucleotide depending upon the type of nitrogenous base which is present. These are 2 nucleotide chains. They are coiled around each other in the form of a double helical structure, and as you can see, the formation of dotted lines, the formation of hydrogen bond between them, which is responsible for this structure. The 2 nucleic acid chains are held together by hydrogen bonds that are formed between specific pairs. Adenine always combines with thymine, and cytosine always combines with guanine, and the intermolecular forces which is responsible for this combination is hydrogen bond. That's all. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.